on episode 2 of The Bad Batch.
I feel like there's a very specific formula going on here.
And the reunion tour continues. All right, guys, so let's just get right into it. We're just going to dive full spoilers for this review to keep it nice and snappy. So we have the Bad Batch picking up exactly where we left off. They're still in hyperspace. They stop by on a familiar planet, and the name's leaving me at the moment. But anyways,
Cut and Sue.
Yeah. So this is
people.
So this is where we meet up with Cut, who obviously we've seen in the Clone Wars before. He's the deserter, and they come to him for advice. And, they start to see the family life he's after. He's no longer a soldier. Everything's about the family. And Hunter in particular starts having some thoughts about his own predicament now traveling with Omega. And then the episode kind of shifts and spends a lot of time on chain codes. I never thought we'd hear so much about chain codes in a single episode. And let's just stop there for a minute. With the Mandalorian, I guess I thought chain codes was like a Mandalorian bounty hunter thing to identify who you were. I didn't realize it was like the Galactic Empire passport.
Yeah, literally, it's just to register people. It almost has nothing to do with your currency. They're building a database of people.
Yeah, and I can't help but think, like, going back to the beginning of Solo, right, which is probably a little ways more in the future in this, and there's no mention of chain codes at all. And you'd think in that intro scene where he's like, registering for the Empire and stuff like that, and all the people are trying to pass through the gates, like, obviously they're, what I mean? That's where my mind kind of went. But obviously,
there's no mention of it.
Yeah, it's brought up in the Mando, and now they're trying to integrate it more throughout the storylines, which I get, and you can't make it perfect everywhere. But it's just interesting they went full blown, like, this is your Galactic Empire passport. Right, like this is everything about you, who you are. And the other thing, it was weird too, because if you go back to that Mando episode, right, when Boba pulls it up, it's like, this is my armor, it was my father's armor, this is Jango Fett, blah blah blah. Like, Jango was long dead before all this happened and stuff like that. So, like, do they retroactively put in your family history tree? I don't know. I'm probably spending way too much time on chain codes, but that's what the episode was about.
It's a valid point, though. You're right. I think you've identified one of the very few kind of gaps in the story. A few days ago, we were sitting here talking about how awesome it was that they fill in every single gap, and this is first one that kind of jumps out. Like, chain codes seem to be used at convenience for Lucasfilm.
Yeah, maybe they're still in the process of fleshing it out a little bit more, right? Or maybe people aren't supposed to spend too much on it. But when you make an episode focused on chain codes and creating fake chain codes, not much else to talk about.
No, I was just going to say, this was a wonderful, I don't want to say filler, but the big takeaway for me on this one was the change of heart in Hunter. We have seen this story before in The Mandalorian, where he's trying to give up the child and then has a change of heart. This is classic, the exact same situation. Obviously, you can see Hunter being caught watching Omega play with Cut and Sue's kids. And even the line from Sue to Hunter in it is children will always find a way. Kids will always find a way to get in trouble. It's our job to protect them.
Yeah, and it's, we do call it filler, and people tend to always do these types of episodes as filler, but I think it serves its purpose, right? It's much needed character development, because Absolutely. I think my thing with the Bad Batch going into it was these were kind of stereotypical characters, right? So now we get to kind of develop them and learn a little bit more who they are. And Hunter, obviously, even to back with Caleb Doom in the first episode, right? He's almost giving off this like father protector like presence, and it's kind of transferred now to Omega. It's too bad they kind of have to do that complete character arc in 20 minutes. But it is what it is.
Yeah, even things like Uncle Wrecker.
Yeah.
Seeing the monster play with these kids, right? I mean, I think that's awesome.
Yeah, and he comes off, from like Clone Wars Season 7, just kind of that mindless, I just want to break and destroy everything, where now you're starting to actually see kind of, everything from the stuffy last episode, right, to now, Uncle Wrecker. So he's a bit of a big softy. It kind of seems when the battles aren't going on. And then the other cool thing, which I know you never watched the trailer, but we did see Rex in the trailer, and we get the Rex name drop that he had just been through there the day before. So this reunion tour we are on is likely to continue next week, I would imagine.
And I'd love to see Rex.
Yeah, for sure.
Would love to see Rex.
Yeah. So it'll be interesting how many, how much are they going to go to the well on these previous Clone Wars storylines, right? It's been first 2 episodes so far, so we'll see what happens, in the third. Yeah. Any other thoughts?
No, I mean, it's pretty straightforward. You're right. Great character development. Chain codes are a little confusing. But yeah, the character development, I think, was an absolute must. And I like seeing the mixed in storylines. I'm actually super excited to see where else they go with this.
Yeah. And I guess the only other really shout out was we got to see a Nexu, which was the episode 2 arena beast, the big rat thing. Right?
Yes.
So we got to see one in the wild. So again,
great shout out.
A little nostalgia, fan service there. Okay, so let's score this thing. So last week again was an incredible episode. I went 8.1.
This week 5.86.
Yeah. This week things slowed down a little bit of filler. Not that it's bad. It's just it was not the most exciting storyline that I'm going to rewatch 800 times. So I'm going to go a 7.4 this week.
I'm actually lower than you. I'm 7.0.
Okay, so we'll call it a 7-2 aggregate here.
Yeah,
or episode 2 of the Bad
Tech
Batch.
And Echo were kind of just there.
Yeah.
And I would have gone to 7.5 if there was some development in the character of Tech and Echo, because I think that's obviously going to be very difficult. But
it'll be interesting.
I mean, I liked it. Again, I loved it. I love the development. But you're right. I'm not gonna leave this and then go rewatch it again.
Yeah. And with only like 20 to 30 minute episodes here, probably into the future, I wonder if we're going to see that more, kind of one focus on one of the Bad Batch. Like they get like a little story and everyone else are just kind of peripheral players, or even, does Hunter become kind of the main star of the show? I don't know. We'll find out. Yep. All right, good.
That's it.
Yeah, thanks for joining, and we will film this again next Friday for the next episode.
Looking forward to it.
All right, buddy. Thank
Cheers.
you. Okay, peace out.